Most people chasing passive income aren't building anything. They're just busy buying courses, setting up funnels, testing dropshipping stores, and somehow ending up exactly where they started, except with less money and a vague sense of shame. Nobody talks about why the failure rate is this predictable, because the real answer doesn't sell courses. It doesn't fit on a thumbnail. So today we're going to talk about what actually keeps people stuck, and what the people who break through are doing differently. Most people chasing passive income aren't building anything. They're just busy buying courses, setting up funnels, testing dropshipping stores, watching their fourth YouTube video about dividend investing this week, and somehow ending up exactly where they started, except with less money and a vague sense of shame. Nobody talks about why the failure rate is this predictable, because the real answer doesn't sell courses. It doesn't fit on a thumbnail. It won't get someone to click a buy button at the end of a webinar. So instead, you get tactics, frameworks, and success stories from people who conveniently leave out the decade of compounding work that came before the passive part. The standard explanation is execution. You didn't work hard enough, you picked the wrong niche, your funnel wasn't optimized. That's not completely wrong, but it's surface level in a way that lets the real problems stay hidden. When someone tries to build passive income while keeping their current identity intact, the two things conflict. Your existing identity has a set point, a kind of homeostasis, and it pulls you back toward familiar behavior. You start a digital product business, but you still think of yourself as someone who works a 9 to 5. You start investing, but you still feel like someone who's just getting by. The behavior doesn't stick because the identity hasn't shifted. Psychologists call this identity homeostasis. Your brain resists changes that don't match your current self-concept, not because you're weak, but because consistency feels safe. The nervous system treats identity disruption the same way it treats physical threat. So you self-sabotage, procrastinate, or quietly abandon the project without fully admitting that's what you're doing. You tell yourself you're just taking a break, reassessing, waiting for the right moment. The right moment never comes because the identity pulling you backward is still fully intact. The neural pathways for person who earns while sleeping don't exist yet. You're asking your brain to run a program it hasn't installed, and the brain responds by defaulting back to what it already knows how to do. The part that gets left out of most content on this topic is pretty simple. Passive income is not passive at the start. Every stream that eventually runs without constant attention required a front-loaded investment of time, money, or both. The passive part is deferred. You're trading work now for income later, and that gap between starting and earning, sometimes months, sometimes years, is where most people quit. What survives that gap isn't hustle or motivation. It's identity. The people who get through the dead zone are the ones who've already started thinking of themselves differently, not as someone trying to build passive income, but as someone who builds assets. That's not a semantic trick. It changes what you actually do on a Tuesday afternoon when nothing is working yet. When your identity is a set builder, you keep going because stopping would contradict who you are. When your identity is person trying to make extra money, stopping feels like a rational response to a bad situation. Same circumstances, completely different outcome, and the only variable is the internal frame. Once you understand the identity problem, the three most common failure patterns start making a lot more sense, because all three are identity homeostasis in disguise. The first is the strategy swap. Someone starts a YouTube channel, gets 3 months in without traction, pivots to print on demand, then flips to affiliate marketing, then back to YouTube with a completely different niche. Each pivot feels like a smart adjustment. It isn't. It's the old identity finding a plausible reason to avoid the discomfort of staying with something long enough for it to actually work. The strategy isn't the problem. The switching is. The second pattern is the income threshold trap. Someone sets up a small passive income stream, earns maybe $40 a month from it, and stops scaling because the amount feels too small to take seriously. They don't reinvest, don't build on it, don't treat it as proof of concept. They treat it as evidence that the whole model doesn't work. $40 a month is a working system, and a working system can be scaled. Walking away from it because it's not yet life-changing is the equivalent of stopping a workout program after losing 2 pounds because you're not at your goal weight yet. The mechanism works. That's the whole point. The third pattern is complexity creep. People add too many streams too fast, trying to diversify before any single stream generates consistent income. They end up managing 5 half-built things instead of one thing that actually works. This one feels like ambition from the inside, but it's avoidance. You can't see clearly whether something is working when you're splitting your attention 5 ways before any of them have had time to compound. Real passive income gets built over a longer arc than most people plan for. 6 years is a useful frame not because it's a magic number, but because it matches the actual timeline of income streams that end up genuinely passive. Years 1 and 2 are about building and testing. You're not passive yet. You're installing systems, creating content, acquiring assets, doing whatever the specific stream requires, and doing the identity work at the same time, actively resetting how you think about yourself and what you're constructing. Year 3 is usually the hardest. You have something that sort of works, but it's not yet significant enough to feel like it matters. This is where identity homeostasis hits hardest, where the old self-concept makes the loudest case for quitting. Most people stop here. The ones who don't are the ones who committed to the full arc and stopped treating year 3 as a deadline. Years 4 and 5, if you've stayed consistent, something shifts. The compounding effect starts showing up, whether that's compound interest, compound audience growth, or compound content indexing. Returns begin outpacing the input for the first time. It doesn't feel dramatic when it starts. You notice it in the numbers before you feel it in your life. Year 6 is where it actually looks like what people imagined when they started. Not for everyone. For the people who didn't swap strategies, didn't walk away from working systems because they were small, didn't spread thin before they had a foundation. Strategic disappearance applies directly here, not disappearing from your work, but disappearing from the identity that's keeping you stuck. The person who spends money instead of allocating it, who consumes content instead of producing assets, who plans in weeks instead of years. That identity doesn't get suppressed. It gets replaced through deliberate repetition of new behaviors until new neural pathways form, through changing your environment so the old defaults lose their grip. Anti-goals help with this more than positive goals do. Instead of listing what you want, list what you're committing to stop. Stop treating every strategy you hear about as a reason to pivot. Stop reading small income as proof of failure. Stop building complexity before simplicity is working. The anti-goals name the actual obstacles, which makes them far more useful than a vision board. Pick one stream. Not the most exciting one, the one you can sustain for 2 years before it pays off. Build the identity before you build the income. Treat early earnings as system validation. $40 a month means the mechanism works. Now you scale it. Most people overestimate 1 year and drastically underestimate 6. The passive income that changes a financial life accumulated slowly, then all at once. The failure was never the wrong strategy. It was quitting before the identity had time to take hold. If this resonated with you, the most useful thing you can do right now is pick one stream and commit to it for at least 2 years. Not because 2 years is a magic number, but because that's roughly how long it takes for the compounding to start showing up in a way you can actually feel. The people who build real passive income aren't smarter or more disciplined. They just stopped treating the early phase as a test and started treating it as the foundation. If you found this helpful, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.